that van right there. Now,
He is. It's exactly what he's doing. Are you Googling the laws right now?
Henderson Police Department SWAT team responded to the scene and set up a perimeter around the condominium.
I travel in and out of time zones.
And the 3 key rules for a criminal defense lawyer: always on time, impeccably dressed, and occasionally sober.
The yellow sports car up ahead won't stop. Then something happens you might expect in a Spider-Man movie. It wraps around the tire of the fleeing vehicle and stops all forward motion.
Objection, asked and answered.
I mean, he leaps over the fucking bench.
No, the thing is, that's my property. You have no choice.
Actually, I do, because I found friggin' Xanax bars on your driver's seat. If you want to explain something, explain those.
Cops get very frustrated when you don't answer the questions.
No.
step back forward.
He's gonna go straight. There's a car right here. Got him.
All right, I'm going to excuse everyone. Mr. Brooks is being removed from the courtroom.
This is fucking hilarious. So he pulls out a joint in court.
Go, 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 go.
Turn on your stomach! Stop fighting us! Stop resisting!
The injury by the police, that may be a separate issue for you to file a civil suit.
Chris, just while he's doing that, talk to me. What were you running for again?
Warrant.
Warrants? A felony warrant, city warrants, what?
Felony warrant on Kansas.
Well, I'm pretty sure they ran you, and you don't have any warrants.
I don't.
No.
No warrants.
No. So all that for nothing, right? No warrants, no nothing.
Yeah.
Police! A little farther, bro. A little more. Okay, go.
Not finna sit here and let you fix the trial because you don't want to tell the truth to the jury.
We're there, guys. Got eyes on.
I want to suck. Yes, I think I would like to suck your dick. I don't think so.
I prefer not to.
I prefer not to, sir. See that? I love that.
So do you wish to say anything?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day to you all. And thank you for joining me again on the Defence Rests. Today, or this evening, I apologise for the late start, but I I was transcribing a document from an article, and I realised that after the 13th page, I wasn't even halfway through it. So I will do 13 pages of my transcription, and then we shall screen share. So unfortunately, the next case that we're going to be following is tragic and horrific. Hello, good morning. We have to get up early to keep up with you. Yes, you do. Thank you so much for joining us and for your support. That's fantastic. I really love it. I do. I haven't been on for a couple of days. I've been rearranging, as you can tell, the studio / lounge room has been rearranged. I've got myself a nice new desk, and it's starting to look a little bit professional here now. So, so the case that we're going to start on Monday, it's about a 9-year-old girl, Alianna Alvarez. And whilst it is a horrific and tragic trial that is set to start, and the details are graphic and sensitive in nature, I believe that her story still needs to be told, and she still needs to have a voice, and I'd like to try and do that in the most respectful way I can. I know a lot of content providers don't tend to tackle these difficult cases, and I can completely understand why. but I'd like to be able to present something that's not only different, but hopefully it can make people a little bit more aware of some of the signs, some of the something that they might be able to identify in the future that might be indicative of child abuse or child neglect in some way, and in having that knowledge might be able to save a life down the track. That's the game. That's the aim. That's the goal, basically. So with that said, I've made a little tribute to Alianna. Now, she was 9 years old, but there is not a great deal of photographic pictures of her that I could find anywhere. There is a couple of baby shots, and one of her is as her 9-year-old. So I'll play that now for you. We'll go through that, and then we shall start on the press release. As I said, sorry, that's very short, but there wasn't a great deal of material for me to use for that. So welcome to from wherever you're coming from to the Defence Rests. We have a few people in tonight, which is great to see. Some new faces, fantastic, as well as some old faces. Thank you. I've missed you all. All right, so this is the press release that was released with regards to this case, and it's in the Davies County Sheriff's Office, which was in Kentucky, I believe. On the evening of Friday, September 30th, the Davies County Sheriff's Office was dispatched to a possible missing persons complaint. The caller had, sorry, I'm trying to read it in small writing. The caller had gained knowledge, can't even read that myself, and was concerned that a juvenile female was missing from a known family. The caller stated that Jose Gomez-Alvarez and Chyanne Porter care for several children. However, one particular female child hadn't been with them for some time. The caller stated that they had different excuses as to why this child was never with the other children, and believed something may have happened to the child. Early on, it was apparent that Jose Gomez-Alvarez and Chyanne Porter had been transient, living in different states, staying in local hotels for much of 2022. A Facebook post was made to locate the two individuals and check the well-being of all children, including the possible missing child. The child in question had not been reported missing by any other agency. Subsequently, the Davies County Sheriff's Office filed a missing person report on the juvenile. On Monday, October 4th, information received led us to a storage facility located in Owensboro, Kentucky, and we located a storage container which was rented by Chyanne Porter. A search warrant was obtained for the rental space. Upon searching the contents, a tote was located with suggested human remains. The Davies County Coroner's Office was contacted and transported the human remains to the medical examiner's office in Owensboro, Kentucky. I really need new glasses. For autopsy and future positive identification. Warrants were obtained for Jose Gomez-Alvarez and Chyanne Porter for tampering with physical evidence and abuse of a corpse. Both subjects were later located in Kentucky. It was at the mother's house. All right. I'll go into more detail in the explanation because I've written it way better and I can read it way better. So this is Jose Gomez-Alvarez and Chyanne Porter, the alleged parents. Now, Jose had 3 children to a previous partner. The first one being Alianna, which is our 9-year-old victim, plus another female and male child, all under 12. Then he had 2 subsequent children with Chyanne. And in the article that I'm referring to, they haven't been named, but they are referred to as victim 2, victim 3, and then witness 1 and witness 2 being the 2 children that they had together. So on October the 30th, 2022, a Davis County, Kentucky deputy was dispatched to a property in Owensboro, Kentucky to investigate a missing person. On scene, he spoke with Haley Cook and Amber Thurby. They told him that Jose Gomez-Alvarez and Chyanne Porter had recently been staying at their address along with their children. Gomez-Alvarez has 3 children from a previous relationship, as I said, victim 1, 2, and 3, all reported to have been less than 12 years of age at the time, as well as his 2 other children with Porter, witness 1 and 2. Thurby said all the children were present except for Alianna. Porter told Thurby that Alianna was in the hospital. Thurby said that victim 2 told her own child that the reason Alianna wasn't with them was because Gomez, Alvarez, and Porter killed her whilst they were living in Evansville, Indiana. Victim 2 said Gomez, Alvarez, and Porter put Alianna's body in a plastic storage container and brought it with them to Owensboro. Thurby said the family left her address before she could contact the authorities. The deputy made a media post requiring any information as to the whereabouts of Gomez, Alvarez, and Porter. Porter's mother, Lisa Stinnett, contacted the Richmond Police Department after she saw the media post about her daughter on October the 2nd. Stinnett said Porter had her pick them up from Owensboro the day before, and she brought them back to her house in Richmond, Kentucky. Richmond Police Department went to Sinnett's address and made contact with Gomez, Alvarez, and Porter, as well as the 4 children, but Alianna was not located at the time. The deputy made contact with the extra space storage unit and verified that Porter had a unit at that facility that she had acquired on the 18th of June 2022. Detective Kay Skaggs obtained a search warrant for Porter's unit, which was executed on the 3rd of October 2022. Several plastic storage containers were located inside the unit, including one wrapped in a black trash bag. The trash bag was removed to reveal the lid of the container was sealed with black electrical tape. When the lid was removed, deputies discovered severely decomposed human remains wrapped in white plastic inside the container. It was subsequently determined that this was the body of 9-year-old Alianna. After the body was discovered in Porter's storage unit, the state police returned to Stinnett's house address where Gomez-Alvarez and Porter were taken into custody. Stinnett said Alianna was not with the family when she picked them up. She said Porter had told her that Alianna was with Stinnett's mother, Kathy Meadows. Now, Stinnett said that her and her mother were not on speaking terms at the time, so she wasn't able to call and verify that, and that she'd just reconnected with Porter herself at that time. So Porter had told her that Alianna was having seizures and other medical issues. That's what she told her mother. The mother told troopers the last time that she had seen Alianna in person was in the fall of 2020. After she'd picked them up from Owensboro, the daughter Porter, Chyanne, insisted that they get a letter that she'd written, notarized. And this letter basically gave her mother, Stinnett, the authority to care for her children. But they were placed into the custody of the Kentucky DCS. Police asked Jose Gomez-Alvarez, I'm going to have to shorten that because that's a tongue twister, if he knew why he was being interviewed by detectives, and he answered, something happened to her, that's all I can say. Ah, hello, welcome. Oh, we've got everyone in the house today. Yay! That's exciting. Good to see you all. Unfortunately, this is a terrible story. Terrible. Just, yeah, some people just shouldn't be allowed to have children or breathe. But that's just me. I said that out loud, didn't I? Sorry. When they asked who he was talking about, he said, one of my kids, and then gave Alianna's name. He then proceeded to tell the investigators how Porter had suffered a miscarriage at the end of August in 2020. I missed you too. I am, but I've got a stuffy nose today for some reason. I've got the sniffles. Yeah, good morning to you, and it's good evening here. I have been keeping up to date with the Karen Reid trial. Hang on. Just FYI, I have been watching, and it's really starting to get interesting now. But I'll be starting this new case on Monday. It's set to start trial. I think it's probably one of them. I'm not sure if they're going to do the two at the same time. I haven't been able to find any more information out on that, but yes, she's funny. Very funny. She just had her hair done. Looks lovely. So I thought I'd do a bit of an overview and a bit of background info before the trial starts on Monday, and that way people have a little bit of an understanding behind what's going on. But yes, the Karen Reid, very interesting, very interesting. I haven't something's afoot. I think that's going around lately, something afoot, especially in the Tyrone Tucker trial and Karen Reid, and apparently Zachariah Anderson as well. So, all right. So Chyanne Porter had a miscarriage at the end of August of 2020, and they'd had the baby's remains cremated. And then they'd moved into a house in Evansville, Indiana in the October of 21. Apparently, Jose said that the house had a basement that had kept flooding, and there was mold growing in the house, and everyone got sick after they'd moved in. Excuse me. He said that on the 7th of February, he'd woken up when Porter had left for work that morning. Alianna and his other two children from the previous relationship would sleep on an air mattress in the living room, while the other two children from their relationship would sleep with him and Chyanne Porter in their only bedroom in the house. Sounds like it's an ideal situation. Yes, definitely. Something is afoot, for sure. So when Jose got up, he said that he'd checked on Alianna and found her to be unresponsive. He said that he'd tried CPR, but he couldn't bring her back. He called Porter and told her that something was wrong with her, and by the time Porter returned home, she'd found Jose holding Alianna in his arms, but it was too late and Alianna had already passed. After realizing that Alianna was deceased, they then decided they would wrap her body in a blanket and then wrap the blanket in plastic and place it into a plastic storage tub container and taped it up. Really. Porter said they then moved out of the house immediately and the container went with them wherever they would stay. Well, you think? Calm, Jody. Deep breath. So then they rented a storage unit in June of 2022 because they were staying at a hotel. And they put that container with Alianna's remains in it, along with the ashes of their baby, into the storage unit so that they would be together. In a follow-up interview with Detective Skaggs, Porter said that she didn't know why Alianna had gotten sicker than the rest of her children, or the children. She also acknowledged that she'd never sought medical advice for any of them whilst they lived in that house, and that she claimed the reason they didn't go to school was because she homeschooled them all. Now, Jose said that they didn't tell anyone about her death because they didn't want to lose their other children. He said that when the other children would ask where Alianna was, they would tell them that she was at their grandmother, Kathy Meadows. Jose said that Alianna appeared physically fine the day before she died, and then they went on to ask him how his children were punished, and he claimed he didn't even whip them. Didn't whip them. Yeah. Investigators then asked him if Porter would ever get frustrated and hurt Alianna, and he replied, "Not that day." Bow, wrong answer, idiot. Not that day. They asked about any other days, and he paused for a while and slowly said, "Just like probably a smack, but not like beat her almost to death. You don't put your hands on them at all. They're a child." In my opinion. On the 13th of October 2022, the 4 remaining children were transported to a child advocacy centre where they each underwent forensic interviews. And during victim 2's interview, which is the female from the previous relationship, so the 3 children from Jose's previous relationship were Alianna, another female that's not been named, and another male. So they are referred to victim 1, 2, and 3, and then the 2 children that Jose and Chyanne had together are being called witness 1 and witness 2. So during victim 2's interview, which is a female child, and they were all under 12, remember, she claimed that Gomez-Alvarez or Jose and Porter had killed Alianna. She stated that she was locked in the basement at the house, and along with both with Alianna and the other male child, and she claimed that they weren't fed, and Alianna in particular was especially skinny, and she said that's how Alianna had died, from not being fed. Victim 2 claimed that Gomez-Alvarez and Porter had physically abused the 3 of them by hitting them, choking them, and pulling their hair. She said that the other 2 children, witness 1 and 2, never got in trouble, and because they were loved by Porter, unlike the 3 of them. So they were the 3 children from his previous relationship, and obviously Porter treated them differently, allegedly. When victim 2 was asked about the day that Alianna had died, she said that she woke up in the basement and saw Gomez-Alvarez and Porter staring at Alianna. She said Porter was mad. At one point, victim 2 said she'd gone upstairs to sneak Alianna some food, but when she tried giving it to her, she fell over and stopped breathing. Victim 2 said that Gomez-Alvarez began to cry, but Porter did not, which is unusual. Then Gomez-Alvarez put Alianna in a grey plastic tote with black tape on the lid. This is how the child is described what they did with her. She then accused Gomez-Alvarez and Porter of killing their pet cats and dogs as well. It's just sickening, absolutely sickening. The more that I dug into this and the more that I read, the sicker I feel. She said they wouldn't feed them, and when they barked and meowed too much, they would choke them and kick them in the face. Now, I don't know if anyone, you probably don't know, but I'm also called the crazy cat lady. I have 4 feisty moggies that are my companion animals and live with me. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. How do you come back from that? I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, I have 4 beautiful pussycats, and one of them is normally in every live stream. One was sitting on the back of that couch just behind me right there, not 5 minutes before I started, and then buggered off. All right, so that was my 13 pages. So now we shall go to the screen share where I hope you can read that. I'm not sure how to. Full screen layout. A bit better. Maybe I'll put me down the bottom down there. Oh, no, that's not the one. There, try that. That's better. All right. Hopefully you can see that. So we've gone through the interview of, or the basic interview of victim 2. Now this is the beginning of the interview with the 3rd child from Jose's first relationship, which is the male. All right. At the beginning of the interview with victim 3, he interrupted the interviewer's introduction and said, "Can I tell you something? My mum killed Alianna and then put her in the basement." Victim 3 identified his mother as Porter and his father as Gomez-Alvarez. Victim 3 repeated that his mother killed victim 1, but his father didn't kill her because he had started to cry when he saw that she was dead and he gave her CPR. Victim 3 drew a picture of Alianna during the interview and then held it up and exclaimed how skinny she was. When asked about her being skinny, victim 3 replied, "My mum never fed her. She was very, very skinny. She got skinny when my mum didn't feed her." When asked to name everybody that Porter didn't feed, victim 3 said, "She didn't feed me or victim 2 or the dogs, and she didn't give me or the other 2 any food." The interviewer asked if witness 1 or 2 got any food. "She always did feed them, and when my mum went to sleep, my dad came to give me something to eat." So he knew that she wasn't feeding them. How could you be with someone that treated your children like that? How could you treat children like that? It's beyond me. Victim 3 then mentioned being in the basement and described it as being flooded and full of worms. He said he woke up in the basement with victim 2 and Alianna was already dead. Victim 3 said he remembered Jose Gomez-Alvarez and Porter being mad the day Alianna died and arguing about stuff. And victim 2 didn't do that stuff. He and victim 2 didn't do. Okay. Victim 3 said Porter did not like victim 1 or Alianna and would tell her, "I don't care if you're hungry." He said Porter wanted to kill him and victim 2. When asked what made him think that, he said Porter would choke him on the neck. When asked how it felt, he stated it hurt. He was asked what made Porter stop choking him, and he replied, "My dad." He said, "You're about to kill him." So he saw this. Jose saw this, saw her do this to his children. Victim 3 said he felt like he was going to die at the time. There is no words. There isn't. He then handed his drawing to the interviewer, and she asked who the picture was of. He said Alianna. She asked what the object next to her was, and he said, that's a bag. The one she used to hide me food in. Oh, bless her. So they go on to interview the witness 1 and 2. Now, witness 1 and 2 are the 2 children they shared together. Why you would breed with someone who treated your other 3 children that way is way beyond me. Way. Witness 1's interview began with a question about where Alianna was. Witness 1 replied, dead, in the sky. She's with our brother. Witness 1 talked about her baby brother that died, which is obviously the miscarriage that Chyanne had, and said he was now in a tote at a storage building along with Alianna. Then she mentioned what she called the Wormy House. She said she, lived there with her family, and if anyone goes inside, they'll get sick. And she said she slept with witness 2 and her mum and dad in the bedroom at that house. She identified her mum and dad as Porter and Gomez-Alvarez. Witness 2 said that Alianna and the other 2 all slept in the basement because they weren't real siblings. She said only witness 2 and her and the deceased brother were her real siblings. Witness 1 said Alianna and the other 2 children were sent to the basement and didn't get to eat when they were bad. Witness 1 was asked what else happened when someone was bad, then replied, well, Porter usually whips them and Daddy just chokes them and that makes us cry. So he was doing it too. Witness 1 spoke of a time when she witnessed Gomez-Alvarez choke his youngest child, third child, around the neck until his feet started wiggling and, I don't even think I can read this anymore. I might just skip that bit. I know this is probably all going to come out in trial, but yeah, I'm going to have to put a bigger warning up, I think. When asked to tell more about Alianna being in the basement, witness 1 said Alianna was starting to get sick down there, and Jose thought that she was faking it. Witness 1 said the other 2 children then brought Alianna upstairs, and that's when Jose began giving her mouth-to-mouth and CPR. Witness 1 says Jose was crying. She said Porter was at the store when this happened. I thought she was at work. And when she got back, they put Alianna in a tote full of water. Full of water? In order to give her a bath. What? Due to the house only having a shower and no bathtub. That's bizarre. After that, witness 1 said she let Alianna wear her princess dress since it was too small for her, and since Alianna didn't have many clothes of her own. Witness 1 said Jose took Alianna to the hospital, and that was the last time she saw Alianna. Okay, so that's witness 1's version of what actually occurred. And she gave her princess dress. Bless. The interview with witness 2, which is the second child that they shared together, was very brief due to his age and attention span, so he must have been quite young. Because, as I said, all 5 children were under the age of 12 at the time. in 2022. He was asked, so obviously there is 1, 2, was that a female? Yes, so there is 2 females from the first relationship and a male, and then a female and male from that they have together, and miscarriage was a male as well. I think I've got that right. When witness 2 was asked who his mother was, he answered Chyanne Porter. He was then asked to talk about Porter. The first thing he said was, "Mama gets mad at me and whoops," victims 1, 2, and 3. Witness 2 said victim 2 was his big sister and Alianna was his little sister who was dead now. In a follow-up interview, Detective Skaggs conducted with Thurby. Now, Thurby's the person that originally reported them as missing, reported Alianna as missing. Thurby said she witnessed Porter withhold food from the first 3 children whilst they were all staying with her on a previous occasion. Well, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you do something? Why didn't you call somebody? They're staying with you. You've witnessed this and you've done nothing. Really? That makes you just as bad. You're just as accountable. Thurby said if she gave the kids food without Porter's permission, Porter would punish them by shoving them down or hitting them. So ring the authorities. Just saying. That's why these stories need to be told. It's people like this ignorance, this passivity, it astounds me. They're too scared to say anything or do anything, and a child lost their life because of it. Thurby said that the 2 other children that they shared together, witness 1 and 2, never got into trouble or the same punishments as the other 3. Thurby admitted she called social services several times to report the abuse. Okay, well, there's a difference between making a phone call and following up on it and going down to the police department and stomping your feet and saying, "Hello, this is not acceptable." And then you have the complete opposite in, I don't know if anyone's watched the Take Care of My Case, where DCS did the complete opposite for no reason, for an alleged Munchausen by proxy, alleged, which never was. And then you have this going on. And the other thing I noticed, just whilst I'm on a rant, these 2 absolute disgraceful excuses for humans were given $1 million bond each. Now, that you might say, yeah, that's $1 million. That's a lot. Good. They won't be able to raise that. Compare that to Ty Tucker, who's been put on a $3.1 million bond for failing a UNA. Not failing it because they detected alcohol, but failing to take it at the appropriate time. $3.1 million. All right, where was I? Kentucky's Department of Child Services had numerous assessments on file for Porter and Gomez, 2 of which were primarily concerned with welfare and mistreatment of Alianna. So why didn't they step in? Why was nothing done? On the 8th of February 2021, a call to DCS alleged Porter calls Alianna a bitch makes her sleep on the floor and in feces. Makes remarks she doesn't want Alianna in her home, puts the 3 children in the closet when they misbehave and won't feed them. On the 26th of May 2021, a call to DCS alleged Porter keeps Alianna locked in her room, smacks her around, tells her she's the devil's child, and won't let the other 2 children play with her. The caller also mentioned how Alianna smeared human feces on the walls. DCS never substantiated the claims and only made contact with Porter and the children over the phone. Are you for fucking real? Really? They noted that none of the children have any vaccines because Porter didn't believe in them. Yeah. Hope she believes in capital punishment. And that they hadn't been enrolled in school since 2019. Now, she's claiming that she's homeschooled them. How can you homeschool someone when you don't have a brain in your head in the first place? I said that out loud again. Stop it, Jody. All right. Davies County Sheriff's Office Sergeant Jay Wilson made contact with the owner of the house. That was the one that they rented that had the flooded basement, and verified that it had been rented to Porter and Gomez. He said they'd fallen behind on the rent and had moved out without notice. The house was subsequently rented to another tenant. On the 11th of October 22, who's I? Oh, okay, Detective Helm. Sorry, I missed that bit. So he's talking in first person. This detective went and met with Savannah Frederick. She moved into the house at the beginning of May 2022. Frederick told me she initially thought the house was move-in ready, but upon a walkthrough found the house to be in complete disrepair. When I asked her about the basement, she said the floor was covered in feces that she had to clean up. Frederick provided pictures of the house that she took at the time she first saw it. No doubt they will be brought into the trial at some point. Frederick allowed a crime scene detective and myself to enter the house and take pictures of it in its current condition. There you go. She said that she remodeled the bedroom, bathroom, and living room, but besides being cleaned, the kitchen and basement were the same as they were when she moved in. The door to the basement was located in the kitchen near the back door to the house. There were wooden steps that led down to the basement. On the very bottom step, I observed a small footprint made from white paint, as if a child had stepped in paint and then stepped on the stairs. Frederick said the footprint was already there when she moved in. The basement was open and had no rooms or windows. It had a concrete floor and concrete walls. The floor was dry and there was a sump pump well located in one corner. I observed crayon drawings, markings made on cinder blocks in the basement. On the back of the basement door, the side facing the stairs, I observed brown-coloured finger marks and prints all below the height of the doorknob. Your affidavit believes that all of the persons named above speak from personal knowledge and observation and are reliable and credible in that they relayed this information to your affidavit during the course of your offence duties as a law enforcement officer engaged in the investigation of this offence in an effort to aid in said investigation. Your affidavit believes that there is a factual basis for the above information in that the information given by each individual is corroborated by that given by the other. Any statements made by individuals who spoke after having been given a Miranda advisement is credible for the additional reason the above listed individuals are speaking against their penal interests after having been advised of their Miranda rights. The above described events took place in Vanderburgh County, Indiana. Now, that's just one of the articles on this. It's probably one of the most in-depth, but there are lots of them out there. And we could go over and over the revolting and despicable details. But I think that's probably given everyone enough to go on at the moment. It's an oh I lost my microphone. Not jobby. Nobody likes to lose their microphone fluff. So yeah, that was my overview on what we shall be tackling on Monday. It'll be actually, case will start Monday your time in America, so it'll be Tuesday here. So, but I will put a link up anyway. I'll put a scheduled live stream link. So click those. I know most of you have got that notification button clicked, but I will be going and doing. I think I'll do the recaps on the Tuesday evening. I'll be watching the trial on the Monday my time, which will be. No, I'm confused now, but I will post it. Don't you worry. And I think the trial's called Kentucky v. Porter or Kentucky v. Alvarez. And I'm hoping Law and Crime or Court TV will be streaming. Otherwise, I will be searching. Someone will be streaming it. And in between, we can watch the Reid. I think there are over 40 witnesses they've gone through already on the Karen Reid trial. 40. And they've only just started getting to first responders today, I think. So that's what I'll be watching once I've finished here. And the moggies are nagging me already. All right. Well, I can't say I'm looking forward to it, but I'm looking forward to seeing all of you here and trying to keep it as light as possible and as respectful as possible. And yeah, we'll get through this together. All right. Have a good day. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. Have a good night. Have a good sleep. Have a good weekend. And I better cue up my outro before I sign off. And Claire, you have to listen to this. It is hysterical. I found an app called Suno.com, and it allows you to create your own song. So you can create whatever genre you want, pick whatever genre, and you can type in your own words. And Jody had a little bit of fun with that. So I haven't managed to work out how to save it as an MP3 yet. So the sound is really crap, but I'm going to turn this up so that you can hear it. Maximum volume. And have a giggle with me because it's hysterical. All right. I shall bid you adieu, and I shall see you Monday.
Covering true crime and police arrest, where the judges move and the defense rests. Watching courts and trials, criminals at best, where the gavel drops and the defense